Hello, I believe everyone has joined in. In case you guys can hear me, just leave a comment over here. Okay, hear you loud and clear. Okay, great. Thanks, Lara. Thanks, Lara, for this confirmation. So I welcome you all to yet another webinar of Maplytics uh, here, and I am Ranjana Verma, the business manager for Maplytics at iNogic. And today we would be looking out for the field operation and the integrations that we have with the we have within the CRM. Okay. So before we start off, let me just lay out some ground rules or maybe webinar logistics. So all lines would be muted throughout this session. Okay, at any point of time, if you have any questions or queries, you can just put them in the chat window. And at the end of the session, I will be answering them for you, right? Now, before we start off with the demonstration or the complete live uh, viewing of Maplytics, let me just give an introduction on what iNogic is. So iNogic is one of the leading ISV solution providers, okay? And we are in the industry, it's been a decade and a half now. And as you can see, we have somewhere around 17 plus productivity apps, and these are getting on added up year by year or month by month. So recently we have some few new additions, that is, WhatsApp for Dynamics, that is an integration between WhatsApp and Dynamics 365 CRM. Same goes for the text SMS, as well as we have dedupe, that is basically that detects your duplication, merges it so that the redundant data has been cleared, right? So, so on the similar notes, we have a couple of our tools, and if any of these tools resonates with you or you want to know more about it, we can connect separately. You can reach out to us at inogic, crm at inogic.com, and we would be there to help you out. Apart from these solutions, or apart from our tools, we are also a system integrators. Okay, so we help our partners and our clients for offshore development and implementation of the CRM, right? So this was an introduction on iNogic as a whole. Now let's just move to the tool for the day, that is Maplytics. So Maplytics, just to start off, Maplytics is available both on Dynamics CRM as well as Dataverse, and it is available on both the both the deployments, that is online as well as on premise. Okay, and the agenda for today. So we'll just look after how Maplytics has grown over the years, what impact it has made overall, and then what all features we are going to see, and we will see those features in live demonstration. Okay, followed by a small poll just to understand which one was your favorite ones, and then the Q&A session. Okay, so let's just understand the growth over the years. So Maplytics has been in the industry for a decade now. As you can see, we launched it in 2011, and then constantly we are developing it. Initially, it was just a store locator app, just a component within CRM, wherein you have the maps. But then gradually, with our feedbacks from the clients, from our partners, we have enhanced ourselves. So now Maplytics is accessible on mobile. We also support field services. Then there is add-on features like territory management, auto scheduling, and year on year or month on month, we are constantly upgrading. So we have releases every 3 months. Okay, and this webinar has a couple of releases features that I would be showing you. Okay, so these are all the features that we have in Maplytics as a whole, and we are constantly upgrading ourselves. And since we are in this for a decade now, this product is much more stable than, much more stable when it comes to uh, a tool versus, customization. So yeah, on the similar notes, let's see the market scope. Okay, so initially when, let's say before 15 to 20 years, when we say location intelligence, the verticals were kind of, there was a notion that only logistic companies would be using location intelligence because that is where, people go on the ground and work. But now we know that location is one of the key data for any industry, be it manufacturing, healthcare, government, education, everywhere. When people are targeting, they need to understand where exactly their people are located, what, how much revenue do they generate, and other things. So location is very important for them. Similarly, when we talk of industry, there was a notion of being only the logistic companies or only the people who are on the ground would be using it. Same goes with the functions as well. People used to think only sales and marketing people would need would need location intelligence, and that is true, it does need. But then we have IT, we have finances, we have R&D. All these departments are also there, wherein they require in a much more higher way, like in much more uh, much more better way. So yeah, it's not restricted only to salespeople, it is related to operations as well, person from a finance, maybe from IT, from R&D departments, so on and so forth, right? Now, the impact that Maplytics has created over the years. So this data has came from the customers that we have. Okay, so first is the mileage cost has reduced. So when you hit a ground without any planning or without any schedule in your hand, you just run around and try to do as much as possible. And what our goal was that to reduce the travel time and increase your meetings time, right? And we have successfully achieved that. From our clients, we got to hear that, the mileage cost has been reduced. Similarly, if I say that I'm hitting the ground with a proper schedule, if I'm making that schedule on a pen and paper or on an Excel sheet, again, this requires a lot of time or a lot of concentration from my end, at least 2 to 3 hours, right? So that time should also be saved. So what used to take 2 to 3 hours can be done in a couple of minutes over here. And we have territories. So usually what used to happen is the visualization of territories was not uh, a good thing, like not a better thing. When you are working in a CRM with read only grid, it is hard to understand where exactly your territories are if you are working all over the globe. It really helps when you place your territories on a map and visualize what record it holds, so that you can get a inference out of it, right? So as a whole, you have this increase in productivity, enhancement in the user adoption, then automating the process of scheduling and so on. So this was the impact that we have created in the last decade now. Okay, so yeah, that was the impact. Now let's just see which all features we are going to see today. So first is smart route. Basically, we'll see how to create our routes, how to navigate through them, then how to use Maplytics on mobile, because you can plan it on your desktop, but at the end you have to go on the road and just understand the things, right? So how to use it on the mobile. Then we have something called as an add-on feature, that is auto scheduling and territory management. So we will be seeing what all enhancement we have done in our add-ons as well. And then a very important feature, that is Power Pages. So we have recently introduced another new feature, that is Power Pages, wherein you can use your CRM data on Power Pages and let the external user interact with it, right? So these are few of the features that we have, and we will see them in the live action of the same. So without any further ado, let me just share my screen and let's go for a live demonstration of the same. Okay. So I believe you guys can see my screen, and yeah, as you can see, I am in one of my entities, that is account entity over here. And these are all the records that I have in this particular view of mine, right? And if I have to show you where exactly Maplytics is, so here is Maplytics, and we ship two kinds of map. Okay, so this is where you can find Maplytics on your ribbon bar. And Maplytics usually consists of two maps. That is, one is detail map and other one is heat map. So detail map is more so of functional basis. So let's say if you want to, plot your records, filter your records, create a marketing list, create a separate view, create routes around it, uh, drive around. So detail map is something that you can go for. Whereas heat map is more so of analysis. So if you want to analyze your data, where exactly your people are, or your accounts are, or contacts are, how much revenue they are generating last year versus this year. So any kind of analysis you want to do, you can go ahead with heat map over here, right? And so these are the two maps that we are looking for. Initially, we will start off with detail map. Okay. So recently, Microsoft has introduced a control that is called PCF control. And what PCF control does is basically it adds a component to your view. So in simple words, if I have to say, when I click this show as, if I click on this detail map, what this is going to do is all the data that you are able to see in the form of rows and columns and read-only grid will be present over here in the form of push pins like this. Okay. And if you're missing your data grid is right over here. Okay. So you have your data grid if you want to search for any of your records, let's say A techno being one of them. So if I want to search it, I can just type in the keywords. And if you're wondering where exactly is this in the entire map, just click on this and the push pin is going to highlight itself like this, right? So this is how you know where exactly the account is placed. Now, everything that I show you is has been designed keeping in mind that people would be operating from their phones as well. Okay, so you have the same data grid over there, you have the same search options as well. You can search your records, the pushpin is going to highlight. And now, if I hover over any of these records, I am able to see certain information at a glance. So that is industry, annual revenue, address. Now, with respect to your businesses, you might have some other important data that you might want to have at a glance. So you can do that as well. You can add much more lines over here, much more data with respect to your use case. Now, if I click on this, if I want to, dig deeper into it, if I click on it, a tooltip card would appear. Okay. This tooltip card has much more detail about this particular account. So let's say uh, I want to have, primary contact person's name, much more details in terms of revenue that they have generated, industry and all. So I can add it over here, and this is completely configurable. Okay. And similarly, we have this quick action buttons. So let's say you have visited this particular account that is A Techno today, and the person mentioned that, maybe we can have another set of visit after 21 days. Okay. So you might want to create an appointment on the go. The traditional ways you open a record and then go in the timeline section and create an appointment and do all that stuff. The simplest way is just use this quick action toolbar. So I'll just click on this appointment button over here. It is going to open up a native appointment form for me, wherein the regarding is preset so that I don't have to do it. The timings are here. You can just change the timing as you please, the dates, write in your subject, and just hit the save button over here. And this is going to go ahead and save the appointment for you or create the appointment for you that you can see in the timeline of this account. Okay. So this was so far what I have showed you is basically the look and feel of Maplytics, right? With all the options that we have got and everything. But there is much more to it. So now let me take you to the search of the same. Okay. So for searching or for filtering of records, we have various search options. That is, first one is by location. So let's say if I'm standing over here and I want to see which all accounts are located within 2 to 3 miles of my radius, I can use this distance proximity and I can do that. Okay, so let me just do that. 2 to 3 miles. Let me hit the search button over here. And as soon as I've hit it, you see that there are two concentric circles over here. So the inner circle represents 2 miles and the outer one represents 3 miles from the center. Okay. And to my knowledge, even these records are too many for me to visit today. Okay. So what I can do is I can categorize these based on any field that I have in my accounts form. Okay. So you can, if you have any flags, let's say the importance of your accounts, let's say rating or something. So you can do that. You can do it by annual revenue that they have generated. Okay. You can do it by industry or any field, right? So I have created one field that is called follow-up dates. Okay. So when I click on that, what would happen is this is going to bifurcate my data based on my follow-up dates or conditions that I have set, right? So these conditions are customizable. This is my condition wherein I have created three of my condition. One is uh, the follow-ups for today or the past follow-ups. Then I have follow-ups for the next 7 days and then 15 days and above. Okay. So you can create your own list of follow-ups and accordingly it is going to take it. Okay. And now this acts as a filter for you. So let's say I just only want to focus on 1 to 7 days. That is the next 7 days for me. Okay. So these are the records that I'm going to visit tomorrow. Right. Now these are so many. So what I can do is I can just select a section of it. Okay. So let's say I'm selecting this section. Today I would be visiting this section and let me create a route against it. Okay. So I can do that. I have selected it and this will be binded to the data grid. Once I select this, I can perform various actions on them. I can save this data as a personal view or a marketing list. I can create multiple activities, tasks around it. I can send them emails if I have configured emails and the templates emails. I can just send them or export it to Excel. So for now, for our use case, what I'm doing is I'm using add to route over here. Now, when I click on add to route, you see a route has been created over here, considering all my waypoints. And also, if you see that these two addresses are outside of my, outside of my entire region that I have selected. So this is basically the start and end address for my user, for Sam over here. So he starts his day from office and ends it at home. So I have hard coded these two addresses so that anytime Sam creates any route, by default, the first one and the last one should be his office and home. Okay. Now this is completely configurable. If you want to add only one of them, you can do that, or eliminate both of them. However you please, you can do that. Okay. And this is the layer menu. Let me hide some of the data so that we can focus only on our route, right? So these routes that are created are by default optimized. And this is optimized based on shortest distance. You can do it by shortest time also. And in case if you want to edit something, like you want to avoid highways or avoid toll roads, so just select that option and the route is going to modify itself accordingly. Okay. And if I scroll down, I will be able to see the driving directions. Okay. So this is turn by turn direction, and this is the ETA. So from point A to G, just the driving part is going to take 49 minutes of mine, that is 50. And I'm going to travel somewhere around 12.5 miles. Okay. So this is the ETA that you have got. Now I understand nobody's going to read this turn by turn directions and everything. So we do have this navigation option wherein you just click on this navigate button over here and you will have all the directions listed. You can use the first one, that is show complete route. When you click on this, it is going to take you to the default map that you have in your system. So let's say if you have, you are using it in your Android phone, it is going to take you to Google Maps. If you are using an iPhone, it is going to take you to Apple Maps. And we also support Waze Map. So yeah, that is how it works. And yeah, that was the navigation part. Now, if everything looks good to you, you can go ahead and save this route. Okay. So you can save this route. You can name it however you please. So if I want to name it as visits for tomorrow, maybe. So I can name it that way. And then date of commencement. So I'm selecting it as tomorrow. And then I can assign it to a user of mine or a team or to myself, however I please. Okay. So here. So till here, what we have done is basically we have created a route and we are trying to save it. Okay. Now you see this little checkbox over here that says create activity. Now this is something that is a magical button, I would say. When I click on create activity, what this is going to do is this is going to ask me what kind of activity do I want to create. So I'm selecting appointments for now, just giving it a name as visits on 8th maybe. Okay, just for my reference, 8th August over here. And yeah, date of commencement and then the time. So let's say my people start their day at morning. So I'm selecting it as 8 a.m. Just a second. 8 a.m. and they end their day at in the evening. So I'm selecting it as maybe 6 p.m. Okay. And duration of each of my appointments. So I'm keeping it as 30 minutes. And there is this buffer time that is kind of a safety net for me. Okay. So if everything looks good, let me just hit the, oh, sorry. Instead of saving, I hit the cross button. So we'll have to fill up all of it again. Just a second. 8th August. Time, let me select it as 8 a.m. Here, the end time, I'm selecting it as 6 p.m. probably. Yes. Duration of each meeting and then the buffer time. And instead of clicking this, let's click save over here and yes. So let me give you a preview of what we have done is, okay. So you remember we started our day at morning 8 a.m. and we selected the activity type as appointments, right? So here all your appointments are listed and this is your directions. So you see from point A to B, it is going to take me 22 minutes to reach my first appointment. Hence the first appointment is scheduled for 8:30 a.m. Okay, giving me a 30 minutes of window. Similarly, over here in these two, there is a 15 minutes of gap because 1 minute of drive time plus 5 minutes of buffer. So it has rounded off to the nearest 15. Okay. So again, here is this 15 minutes of window. So this is considering your drive time and then creating a route for you so that you don't have to create it all over again in a separate tab. So if everything looks good to you, you can go ahead and click on the save button over here. And this is going to create a route as well as create appointments for you. When I say it is creating appointments, this is creating an out of box appointment entity that we have, the activity type, and it could be seen in the timeline of each of these records. Okay. Which means that you don't have to separately go in each of these accounts and create the appointments separately. You can do it right from here. And the best part is it is aligning with your schedule, with your route. Okay. So this is called smart route, the feature's name. Okay. That is there. Now the routes, if you see the routes and appointments have been created and you can visit them. Now I would be taking you through the mobile version of the same wherein I access this route and just navigate around. But before doing that, let me just do one more thing, that is show you another feature of ours, that is dashboard or analytical dashboards. Okay. So nowadays, nowadays data is very important and we usually visualize it using our dashboards, right? So I have created one customizable dashboard for Maplytics for sales manager. So as a sales manager, I might want to, see all the appointments that my team is going to do for the entire week. Okay. So here I have the entire appointments, and if I hover over them, I am able to see the owner who is going to cater it, the regarding and the start time and everything. Okay. So at a glance, I am able to see my entire team and where exactly are they going to visit. Similarly, the second dashboard is based on the accounts that I hold in the entire region, that is all over the globe, right? And I have bifurcated these accounts based on the revenue that they have generated for me over a period of time. So you see that these are the places where I have my accounts, okay? And if I want to see which are my high valued accounts, I can just click on the last donut over here. So I can see it is present in some part of US, not the entire US. And in UK as well, it is present in some part of London. And here in Germany, maybe, or not Germany, but some part of Europe over here, right? So these are the places where I have high valued clients. And only in these places, what I can do is I can enhance my marketing activity, or I can enhance my support team, so that all these accounts are well catered, because these are very important accounts to us. Similarly, if I want to see our mid-valued clients, I can see the mid-valued clients as well. Where exactly are they located? And the heat represents, the darker the color, the darker is the heat of those accounts, right? And again, if you want to view the entire data, you can use the master donut over here, right? So this is one dashboard that I have created. On the similar lines, I have another dashboard that is open cases by postal codes. Okay, so open cases by postal codes is basically that, what I've done is, this is my region that I'm going to cater, and I have bifurcated based on postal codes. The division is postal codes, and I have bifurcated it based on the users. Okay, so if I want to see which all accounts do, or which all cases do Joe Smith holds, so these are the postal codes and these are the cases that he holds. Same goes for William. If I want to see William, so he has in very less postal codes and these are his regions, right? And at the end of the day, if I want to close all these cases, what I can do is I can transfer some of Joe's cases to William, so that at the end of the day we are all sorted with the with the cases, right? So you can create any dashboard or any n-level dashboards using Maplytics. Okay, this works on Fetch XML, right? So this was the analytical dashboard that we have, and yeah, this is the one that we have created the route for. Now, before we go for mobile search, let me just show you what all other search options we have. Okay, so we had a radius search, then we also have region search. Okay, wherein you can put any part of your address, and what this is going to do is, this is going to plot that boundary for you, so that you can visualize it, okay, with the records. Similarly, if you don't want a radius or region, you just simply want to draw on the piece of land and see which all records you have. So you can use the by drawing option. And the last one is territory. And these territory, I would be explaining you in much more detail in our territory management section, so that it is helpful for you. Okay. So yeah, that was for desktop, what we have created. Now I'll take you to the mobile part of it. I'll take you to the mobile section, so that we see that how these routes look like for us, and how do we navigate. So let me just open up some of the routes for me. Let me stop sharing and start sharing my uh, phone here. Yes. So I believe you guys can see my phone screen. Okay. So to access, so here is this Power Apps that we are going to use. Okay, so this is Dynamics app. What I can do is I can just click on it, and this would open up the Sales Hub that you have, and you would be starting off with the dashboard. Okay, so just like what we saw right now was what we have seen right now was basically a dashboard of sales manager. I have also created a dashboard for sales rep, wherein I can see all my appointments for today. Okay. So as a sales rep, if I want to just see what all appointments do I have, I can use this. And if I scroll down, these are my routes. Okay. So I can have all my routes. Okay. I can sort them. So let me just sort them with due dates over here. Let me switch it to my today's route instead of that. Yeah. So this is a route that we have created for today. So I can just click on this three dots over here. It is going to give me an option of plot route. When I click on plot route, it is going to go ahead and plot a route that was created for me. Okay, with all the waypoints and everything. So let this process, and it is going to open up with the all the waypoints and with the directions card and everything. Okay, so this is right. So this is the route that we have over here. Let me just, stop some of the features from the layer menu. Yeah. So this is the route that I would be, following for today over here. And if I go on the trip summary option, that is the fourth option, it is going to give me a much more detailed view. That is, a focused view over here. So if I scroll down A to B, B to C, C to D, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now this is the route that I have. When I click on navigate over here, like I said, it is going to take me to the default map that I have in my system. So because this is an Android phone, I have been taken to Google Maps. If you have iPhone, it is going to take you to Apple Maps, right? Now, on the similar notes, let's say because I had only four of my appointments, I can have, I have this option of adding more. Okay, because let's say I've completed my entire day schedule within the first half of my day. So I have the rest of the half, I can do other appointments as well. So for that matter, what I can do is I have two options. The first option is add stop. Okay, so let's say I know a particular account that I want to visit, okay, by the name. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll use this I'll use this option of add stop over here, select the respective entity. So I'm selecting accounts over here, but it's not necessary when you're hitting the road, you are only going to visit accounts. You might visit leads, opportunities, anything. So you can, use any of the entities that are present. And similarly, if you know the name, just type in over here. Let's say I know a name that is a techno that I might want to visit. Okay. So here all the list would be coming up. You can select which one you want to add and just click on the add button over here. And it is going to add it for you. Okay. So you see the waypoint has successfully been added. When I reload it, the new map would consist of, or the new route would be consisting of a techno as well. Okay. But what if you don't know the person's name, right? What if you don't know where exactly are you going to visit? So in that case, your A techno is also added. So you actually don't know, which person to visit. You just want to randomly see which all accounts are near to you and just simply go ahead and visit them. Okay. So in that case, instead of using add stop, let's use nearby. Okay. So nearby is nothing but it is going to map entire of your route like this. It is going to map everything for you. Yeah, so you can add a particular radius over here. So this option is called along the route or nearby, you can say. And when I click on search button, what this is going to do is this is going to map the entire route of mine. So you see this entire route has been mapped. And if I zoom in, I am able to see only the records that are near to this region or near to my, uh, just a second, yeah, near to my route, right? So here I can see that at just near E, I have one of my records that I can visit to. So what I can do is I can just long press on it. Here is the tooltip card that you see. If I double tap on it, you will be able to see the uh, tooltip card again, the hover data and tooltip card. And if I want to add it to the route, I can just long press on it. Yeah, so I can long press on it and just click on add to route over here. So the waypoint has been successfully added, right? You see that Xflix has been added. And what I can do is I can just start navigating. And after I've done with the entire route, okay, I've completed my entire route. What I can do is I can just click on save button over here. Now, why this save button is important is because you have added a couple of new stops in this way. Okay, and you might want to upgrade or override the existing route. So what you can do is you can use this add to existing route option and hit the save button. This is going to override the old one. Okay, so this is the save route, or this was all about navigations around your, using your mobile. Now, this was a very small feature of Maplytics on mobile, but there are much more features for mobile that I would like to show you, but in the interest of time, I'm just restricting it. So in case you want to know more about it, we can connect on one-to-one basis and we can, work around it. Now, another cool feature that I have is, let's say I have visited this particular account, that is E. Okay. Okay. So I can just long press on it or double tap on it. You will have the tooltip card over here. And now I want to create a check-in around it. Okay. Now check-in is something that when you are visiting, you are very fresh with the meeting. Okay. So you can type down your notes. If you have any attachments to share, you can share the attachment. It could be a PNG file or it could be an invoice document or anything. So you can choose the files, and you can upload it, and the time would be pre-noted. Okay, so when you create a check-in or a checkout, you will be able to see that in the timeline section of your CRM, and you will be able to access all these data there. Okay, and you can also geofence your check-ins in case you want it. Okay, so that was all about mobile. So let's switch back to our uh, you know our desktop. Right. So I'll just stop this. Yes. And let's get back to our old desktop over here. So what we have seen is route planning and optimization, and on mobile as well as on desktop, as well as our analytical tools, or you can say analytical dashboards over here. Now, like I said, we have couple of add-ons also. Okay. So we have one add-on that is auto scheduling, and the other one is territory management. So you know that, when we are talking about big corporations, or maybe wherein you have multiple managers with multiple territories, visualization is very important and can come handy for the same, right? So here, for any of the add-ons, we might want to go on the detail map over here. Okay, and yes, this is a very clean slate map. Okay, and if you, for the territory, you have to use this option, the fourth one, that is territory management. Now for territory, in order to be used, first thing is you need to create your territories, and then you can use those territories. Okay, so for territory creation, there are multiple options. So these are the options that you can use for creating a territory. It is proximity, by region, drawing, anything that you want. But for the demonstration purpose, I am using file. Now files can be shape file, KML file, CSVs, anything. The one that I'm going to choose is a zip file. Okay, and it has the postal codes of uh, New York. So when I click on confirm, it is going to create an overlay, or overlay on the map with respect to the postal codes over here. Okay, now I can select each one of these like this and create a territory around it. Or let's say if I want to mass select them all at once, I can just mass select them all at once as well. Okay, and just right click on it and click on create territory over here. So you can name the territory as you please. I am naming it as Staten Island North. Okay, over here. This is the geography name. So basically geography name is what exactly have you plotted. Have you plotted a city? what kind of geography have you plotted? Is it a zip code? Is it a city? Anything like that. So I'm selecting zip code for now. And this is parent territory. So in case you are creating a hierarchy of territory, let's say, there is this there is this country manager, then you have area managers, and then sales rep. So the country manager is usually looking after the entire country or entire nation, let's say USA. And then you have regional managers who look after your cities and your states, New York, maybe Washington, New Jersey, right? And in those also you have your own sales rep who look after zip codes or postal code areas or something like that. So you might want to create that hierarchy of territory. So now when I click on New York as New York new, so what will happen is this Staten Island North would come under New York New. So whenever I am in future, I'm plotting New York New, by default, this would also be plotted. Okay, because it is a parent-child relationship over here. So you can select or unselect based on your requirement. And then we have managers. So you can assign it to your managers as well. Okay. Now when I click on proceed, the territories would be created. So you see the territories have been created successfully. Now there is this also one more thing, that is click on confirm to assign territories those records. Once the territories are created, you might want to assign the records to these territories, right? That is what the main function is. So usually what used to happen is we used to have territory assignment rule in the background that used to work, right? But now we have enhanced it and we have given it in the UI itself, so that when you click on confirm, whatever kind of records you have, it could be accounts, it could be leads, opportunities, all of them, whichever geographies are, whichever entities have geographies in them, all of those would be assigned to these territories. Okay. So for now, I'm canceling, but yes, you can do that. On a similar note, this was creation of one single territory. But what if I have received ample of leads for a particular area, and now I want to divide it based in our, in my sales rep division, and then it should be done based on postal codes. Okay, so what I can do is I can plot some data over here. Let's say these are the records that I have gotten from the system and I want to distribute it. So in that case, I'll use by file option again, select the zip code file over here, and this is going to plot itself on the data that I have. Okay, so once this has been plotted, what I can do is I can create multiple territories and distribute these territories however I please. So let me just select the entire area which I want to, create a territory of. So here is the entire area that I've selected, right? And now I can just click on any part of it. Yeah, sorry for that, hide the data. Yeah, so I can just click on this create territory over here. And instead of creating single territory, what I can do is I can select mass territories and I can create multiple territories over here. So let's say I want to create 3 territories. So when I click on search, what is this going to do is this has divided the entire region into 3 of the territories, and entire record has been also divided. Okay, and you can assign it to your managers, respective managers. Okay, now this has been created as a draft for you. Okay, now let's say for some reason you want that this particular postal code should not belong to the mid section, it should rather belong to the north section. So what you can do is you can just simply select this and use the option of move to. When you click on move to, what this is going to do is you can move it to territory 0, that is the northern region over here. Okay, and then it has aligned for the north. Similarly, if let's say this is kind of in mid and north, both of them, and you want to create a shared territory. Okay, shared is basically this is a big region and 2 of my salespeople would be working around it, not 1. So in that case, I can just select it, and instead of move to, I can use the option of copy to, just to create a shared territory option. Okay, when I hit that, it is going to ask me which territory you want to assign it to. So let's say if I say territory 0, it should be shared between north and mid. So what it is going to do is it is create a sharing territory. Okay. So this was all about territory creation. You can just hit the create button over here and it is going to go ahead and create those territories for you. Similarly, it is going to save if in case you want to, save it as a draft, you can save it as a draft also. Or if you want to realign it, instead of three, you want to use it for two or something like that, you can use that options as well. Okay. So these are the territories that we have created. Once the territories are created, how do we visualize them, right? That is the second question that you might have. So in order to visualize these territories, we have to go on the search option, use the last option of by territory. Okay, here is the list of all the territories that you have under your name. So I would be using the Staten Island one. So I have created Staten Island Mid, North and South. Okay. And then I might want to select the data sources. So I'm selecting as Staten Island and hit the search button. Okay. So as soon as I click on search, you will see the bifurcation of North, South and here. And if you want to change any colors, you can change the colors as well. So if I want to change the North color to somewhere around yellow or greenish, I can do that. Okay. And you can assign or change the managers right from here itself. Now, just a second. Yeah. Now, once it has filtered, you can perform various mass actions on it. So let me just select a group of region, maybe let's say these three. Okay. These three accounts. So once I've selected, here are some of the selection would be included over here, and I can perform various mass actions on them that I've already showed you: add to route, save data, and so on and so forth. Here is one more option of manage territory. So I can manage their territories. Okay. If I want to assign it to a different territory, if I want to change their territory, I can do it from here itself. Or if I want to unassign it from any of the territories, okay, I want to remove them from all kind of territories. I want them to be just normal records. So I can unassign the territories as well. Okay. So you can manage your territories right from the CRM, right from this particular map over here. Okay. So this was territory management as a whole. Now, what I have given you in this demonstration is just the overview of it in the interest of time. But in case you want to dig deeper into it, we can connect and we can have, you know, a one-to-one conversation around the same. Okay. So now this was one add-on, that is territory management. We have another add-on as well, that is auto scheduling. Okay. So when I say auto scheduling, it is going to automatically create schedules for you for multiple users for multiple days all at once. Okay. Now this time, if you see, I am showcasing this auto scheduling in field service. Okay. Instead of sales hub. So it works both on sales hub as well as field service. However, field service has some additional requirements as well, because in field service we work around work orders instead of our appointments, right? And each of these work orders are very different. So each of these work orders also have something called as their time duration and their characteristics. Okay, so work orders is nothing but a job that you have to do when you are on the ground. Okay, and these jobs might need special skills. So here you see that this job needs a TV repair and a geyser repair. Okay, and now in this, instead of users in field service, we have resources. Okay, and resources usually have their own skill set, that is their own characteristics. So if I see that Robert is one of my sales rep and these are his skills. Okay, so he's good. He can repair ACs, coolers, fridge, so on and so forth. This is his skill. Okay, similarly, I have four other people who have different set of skills with them. So what my job as an auto scheduler is basically to match these characteristics with the resources characteristics so that the job is well done. Okay, and similarly, each of these jobs have different time durations. Okay, some might take 30 minutes, whereas some might take 4 hours or 6 hours, depending on the maintenance period. Okay, so as a scheduler, my job is to include all of them at once. So for that, what I'll do is I'll just open up the detail map because this is an add-on. So we might want to do it on a detail map view. Okay. So this is the same map that we just saw. Let me just plot some of the data for scheduling. So I am scheduling it for work orders. Let me just go for auto scheduling as an option. So if you scroll all the way down, you will have this auto scheduling. And this is the auto scheduling board that we have. Okay. So the first is basically when do you want to start? Okay. So I'm starting it from tomorrow. And here, instead of users, like I said, we work around resources. Okay. So here your resources would be listed. So what I'm doing is I'm adding all four of them because I don't know which skills would be matching to which one of the work orders, right? So I'm just selecting all of them. And in the advanced preference over here, if you see the duration part, okay, so each of these meetings have their own duration. Like I said, each of them has their own maintenance time. So some would require only 90 minutes, 1.5 hours, while some require somewhere around 3 hours or 4 hours, right? So the schedule should be created according to this, right? So here I can select within how many days do I want this 10 work orders to be completed. I'm selecting it as 2. Duration as 60 minutes. In case any of these do not have the timings, so then it would be created for 60 minutes. The start time, end time, and the break duration has been taken over here. The break duration has been taken over here. And if in case you are not working on specific days, you can uncheck it so that none of the schedules have been created. Okay. And here you have the option of creating origins and destination, that is their start address and end address. So you can add it in the pre-configuration also, or else you can just type in over here like I am doing. Okay, so whichever suits you. If everything looks good, what you can do is go ahead and click on proceed over here. This is going to go ahead, proceed, and this is going to match the characteristics of work order with the resources and create a schedule around it. Okay. And while this is creating, it is, it is going to take a couple of seconds of yours because this is processing for you. And once the processing is done, you would find a schedule, something that looks like this. Okay. So here you see after processing, this is how it looks like. And there is this message pop up saying 9 out of 10 of my records have been scheduled. So at the end of this section, I will explain that why one of the records has not been scheduled. So let me just cross this up for now and give you a schedule. So this is Joe Smith's calendar. If I go for Robert's calendar, this is how it looks like. Here is all the scheduling, okay, with respect to time and everything. So you see everyone has a different time. Some are 90 minutes, some are 1 hour, so on and so forth. And here is the turn by turn navigation of the same. Okay, so where exactly are they going? Like we saw in the route section, it is just the same route. Okay, if everything looks good to you, you can go ahead, click on this create button. Okay, and here in this section, the activity type instead of appointments would be bookings. Okay, so in field service, what happens is we create bookable resource bookings. So you create that, you name it however you please. So if I'm naming it as visits on 8th, okay, the time is pre-taken and the status. So you might want to flag it based on any of these statuses that we have. So you can make it as scheduled so that you know these are already scheduled and then you can take the unscheduled ones. Okay, and the booking type over here. So this was the activity that you can create. And there is this little button that says create route. So you might want to tick that as well and just click on create over here. So with this, what would happen is your your schedules would also be created as well as your trip would also be created. That is, your routes would also be created. Okay. And field service usually have something called as a scheduler board. And in that board, you will be able to see all of these bookings as well. Okay. Now remember, one of the work orders was not created. Okay. So that work order is nothing but, let me close this window. That work order is nothing but this one, the 23 one. It has not been scheduled. It is under unscheduled. And why is it under unscheduled? Because its characteristic is different from my resources characteristic. So this person needs furniture making, and none of my resources are capable or are skilled enough for this. Okay. So in simple terms, if I have to show you, just for this understanding, I have created a Excel sheet. So you see that each of their skills are mentioned over here, and none of them are actually skilled with furniture making. Hence, it was not able to match with any of the resources, and the work order has not been scheduled. Okay, so that is what all about auto scheduling is. In Sales Hub, instead of bookings, it would be appointments, and instead of resources, it would be users, and it would work just the same. Okay. So this was all about auto scheduling as a whole. Now, till now, whatever we have done, be it mobile, be it desktop, be it add-ons, it was all about only the CRM data and its visualization. Okay. Now let me take you to something that is different. So many of our clients usually ask, that they have their data, let's say they have their stores and everything, all their data in their CRM, and they want external users, basically their clients, non-CRM users, to be able to access these data. Okay, so for that, what we have done is we have created Power Pages. Okay, so Power Pages is an MS, tool itself, and which allows you to create uh, pages that could be accessible to other people as well, that is your clients as well. Okay, and here with this, what you can do is you can add Maplytics or you can add maps to these. Okay. So let's say I am a automotive service company. That is, I provide services for all the cars and automobile vehicles. Okay. And if at any point of time, if my client's car or anything got breakdown, they should be able to search me on the go. Okay. So they should be able to just pull up the website and they should be able to search the nearest station. It is as simple as that. Okay. So for that, what you have is you have to type in your location. Okay. So usually you can, if you want to type in, you can type in. Otherwise, it is going to take your live location wherever you are. Okay. And when you hit the search button, it is going to show you which all service centers are near to you or which all records are near to you. Okay. So these are all the records that are near to him. The nearest one is IRS over here. But in case if you want to filter it down even further, so we have given the filtration option as well. If you want to filter that based on any region, you can filter it over here. In case you have certain criteria in mind, you can add the criterias as well. Let's say I want a price range. I have a budget of only 3,000. Okay. So I want to see which all service center can cater me under 3,000. So for that, I can just click on search, and now this has narrowed down for only three of them, and the nearest one is AAA. Okay, so I can just click on it. I will be able to see much more information about this particular record. So there is address, phone number, and website. I can call them up, tell them where exactly the breakdown is, and so on and so forth. Or if I want to reach out to them, I can just click on get direction and it is going to give you the direction for the same. Okay. So this Power Pages is nothing but a portal for your CRM data being accessed by the external users. Okay. And yeah, this is how it works. Again, if you have any questions on this, we can connect one to one and we can, sort it out. But for now, what we have done is to this brings to the end of our webinar, wherein we have seen a lot of features: core Maplytics, smart routes, Maplytics on mobile, territory management, then auto scheduling, Power Pages. So these were some of the features of Maplytics. But Maplytics is much more than this. So in case you want to know more about it, we can connect on a one-to-one basis and we can have it out. Now, because the live demonstration has been done, there is a short poll wherein we would be listing out all the features that we have seen, and just give your votes whichever you like the best. Just give your votes, and just as a feedback, we would understand that which one of them resonated with you guys. Yeah, so it would be great if you can just choose your favorite features. Okay. So whichever it is, just give your vote so that we know which one of them resonated with you guys. Yeah, guys, I think you guys are not voting. It would be great if you guys can vote to your favorite feature. And if your feature is not listed in it, you can just type it in the chat box. We'll understand that. Okay, thanks. Thanks for your polls. I think we can close the poll now and go back to the Q&A session. Okay, so go back to the Q&A. I think we have a couple of questions over here. So let me just check if we have any questions. Okay, so the first one was from, yes, is it adding the contacts for the accounts to the appointment or just the CRM user? I think my support team has already answered it. To your question, yes, they have answered, so good. And then I think Eric's question is also being taken care. If you have existing zip code custom table in your Dataverse, can you choose those and visualize it? So yeah, I think yeah, that is done. And Laura, I believe, asked for this recording of the webinar. So definitely we would be sharing the recording. I'm sorry if you have to leave. And due to security and privacy policy, you were not able to choose it from the bot. No problem. We understand you like auto scheduling the best, and that is great. Uh, yeah. And also, we have Kylie who said that smart route and tip mode was something that is good. It says my admin setting is disabled. Okay, I'm sorry for that. I'll just check internally why the poll is not working for you guys. But thanks for the votes and thanks for just writing them down on the chat box. Do you guys have any other questions? Please feel free to add them. Or you can reach out to me on my personal email ID, that is ranjana@inorgic.com, or maybe crm@inogic.com, and I would be happy to assist you, right? That brings us to the last part of it. I think we have done the Q&A. That is a few of our clients. So Reemployability has been with us since the inception. They are one of our valued clients. P2 Automation, again, one of our partners who are working day in and day out with us. And here are some of our clients. So if you want to read in detail about them, we have them on the website. We have them on the website and you can read about them. Now, here are some commonly asked FAQs, and let me just answer them for you. Maybe you might have this question. So, all the maps that you were able to see was Bing Map. Do you have to purchase that separately? No, we ship that along with our solution so that you don't have to purchase them separately. Then it comes to Microsoft products, so which all it is supported, uh, CRM as well as Dataverse, and online as well as on-premise, both of them. Okay. Can you create overlapping territories? Yes, you can create shared territories, overlapping territories. I have showed that in the demonstration as well. Can you plot multiple entities? Yes, you can plot multiple entities. You can plot, accounts, leads, opportunities all together at once in one single map. I wasn't able to show that, but yes, you can do that. And the mobile view, I have given a complete overview of how Maplytics works on mobile. So that is already done, I suppose, right? Now, as a next step, what we can do is we are listed on App Source. You can go ahead, download our 15 days trial, configure the solution, use it, play it around, play with it, see how it works on your data. And at any point of time, if you need any assistance, maybe just for configuration or just to understand the use cases, you can reach out to us and we will be happy to assist you on a call. Okay. And yes, that brings us to the end of our webinar. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for your time. It has been a pleasure presenting the tool with you. And I'll see you soon. Have a great day ahead, guys. Thanks for joining in.